Okay, so today's shir, again, we're going to focus again on the theme of Emuna and Bitachon. I want to start with a pasuk in Mishlei. The pasuk says, Sus muchan liyoy milchama v'l Hashem hatshua. There's always a horse ready, prepared to go out for a day of battle, but Hashem hatshua, salvation is from Hashem. In other words, we always start, first thing is, we make a ishtadlus and a keli b'derech hateva. But we have the horse ready. But we always know, despite the horse being ready, it's not in the hands of the horse, it's the Yeshua's for the Eibishter. The patient who's not well follows the diet of the doctor, the regimen that the doctor gave them, but they know that's their ishtadlus, but they ask from the Eibishter. Noach made a teva, that was his ishtadlus. He made a teva to protect himself, but ultimately it was all in the hands of the Eibishter. In Tanakh, all the time we find they sent out meragim, they sent out spies before they conquered the city. But then they brought the Ar and then they got into the Eibishter. So there's the Sus Muchan, but Hashem Hatshua. And this Sus Muchan is extremely important for us to understand the balance between the two. The pasuk says that Hashem, in the Teichach, that Hashem says He's going to send us chaloyim. If Yidin Chas Hashem misbehave, He will send them chaloyim, roim v'ne'emanim. Sicknesses that are roim, that are no good, v'ne'emanim, and trustworthy. What does it mean, faithful, trustworthy sicknesses? So Chazal say, Ne'emana b'shlichusam. They were sent on a mission. The sickness was there in a mission from the Eibishter. The Eibishter decided which sickness that happened to which person at which particular time, and which refuah should work. You could try to bypass the system and come with a chachma, have an alternative doctor, have something, and this is going to work. But this is doing his job the way the Eibishter sent it to do the job. And if the doctor makes a mistake, as the famous saying, quoting the name of Chazal, Tois haroifer ratzon haboida. The doctor makes a mistake, that's all part of the Eibishter wanted. The Eibishter sent the doctor to send the wrong medicine, because that's what the Eibishter wanted. And if we strengthen our Bitachon, then things turn out on a whole different channel. There's a capital Tillim which we say in Pesukah Zimna every day when we thank Hashem for everything that He does for us. And the pasuk starts off, the capital Tillim starts off, Haluka, Ki toiv zamra lekeinu. It's so good to sing to Hashem. Ki noim, it's sweet. Nava Sihila. And then we talk about all the different things that Hashem does. And Mefarshim discuss the various different things that the pasuk describes that Hashem does. It's all relating to our relationship with Hashem. And appreciate that Hashem runs the world and we're under His care. Boine Yerushalayim Hashem builds Yerushalayim. Midchei Yisrael Yichanes, He gathers all those that are dispersed. Tells us like a king who built a country. He builds a country and He brings in whoever He wants. The Eibishter built a big country, it's called the world. And in this world, He decides who comes where and who goes where. The Eibishter heals those that have a broken heart. Mechabish, and puts on the band-aid to their depression. And here comes an important nekudah. In Sefer Ikrim, he writes that all other parts of the body, if something happens to them, they break, so to speak, then there's a refuah b'derech hateva. Shviris halev upiruk pirik chiburoi. If the heart comes apart, lo yikabel refuah klal derech hateva. There's no way naturally to heal if a person's heart is broken. Now, whether he means the physical heart in the physical sense, that's the pashup pshat, the heart is broken, it's over. But there's a deeper pshat, that there's the broken heart, the broken spirit. But derech hateva, you can heal there's methods of healing, there's different ingredients that we use, there's cure, there's for various different sicknesses. When we're talking about a mental illness, yeah, we could try antidepressants, you could try this, you could try that, but ultimately it's ultimately it's an understanding where the person wakes up from this depression, anxiety, whatever other disorder, and realizes he's all the hands, surrenders, he's all in the hands of the Eibishter, and that brings him this tranquility and this lack of anxiety. The Eibishter one is that heals it. Or like the other pasuk says, Korev Hashem l'nishbirei leiv ve'ezdakei ruach yeshia. Hashem is, all those that have a broken heart, Hashem is close to them, and He will redeem them. In other words, and there's the pashup shot, if you have a broken heart and you don't have gaiva, then Hashem is close to you. But there's another understanding of here, that this person needs the special closeness of Hashem to get out of his problem. As the pasuk says in Mishlei, Ruach ish yichalkel machalehu, v'ruach necheya mi yisiana. A person could be sick, but if he has a ruach, he has a spirit, he has an indomitable spirit, he's strong, yichalkel, he can sustain a sickness, he can manage with a sickness. And then he could have someone that has a small bubu, Ruach Necheya, but he's a broken spirit, Mi Yisenu, who carries such a person. It's almost like he's carrying his entire body with him. It's all about the Ruach Ish, it's the spirit, understanding that it's all in the hands of the Eibishter. If we stop thinking about what is supposed to happen, then we start noticing what actually is happening, all the good that is happening. We constantly think about what's supposed to happen, the next thing is supposed to happen, this type of anxiety. The minute that your mind lets go, then we notice all of a sudden the body relaxes. There's a form of surrender that we give in, and we say it's all in the hands of the Eibishter, and then a relaxation takes over us. It's not a coincidence. This is what Bitachon is all about. If the minute you're relaxing and putting it in the hands of the Eibishter, then that's the Bitachon, miracle of Bitachon, that makes you calm. The best antidepressant that we have over there is Emuna, Bitachon, and the Eibishter. So what Bitachon does is that we stop overthinking and we start knowing. It's not Chachma, it's not Bina, it's Das. Bitachon says there's a quiet voice of knowing inside, but Adam, Yada, Eschava, Yada means recognizing, uniting, Ladas es Hashem. Not your mind is on full speed. That's Chachma Bina. That's thinking and overthinking. And then there's the Das, the knowledge, the calmness that comes with that, the connection. In that same kapitel, it continues and it says, Hashem counts the stars. Gives each one of them a name. And the Mefarshim talk about what's the relationship what it talks about before. How does that fit in all of a sudden? And one of the explanations here is they have just so many stars, but everyone has a name. Sometimes we feel we're so lost in this sea, in the world. There's so many things happening. Who even looks at me? No, the Eibishter knows exactly who you are, and he's thinking about you, and he loves you, and he cares for you, and he gives you a name, and he's looking after you. So if a person has a shvurei lev, a mental illness, and he realizes he has a special relationship with the Eibishter, he calls you with a name, Lashon Chiba, then that takes him out of this depression. The Eibishter band-aids the person, gives a bandage to the person's depression. Pasuk from the Pasuk, Atzvaisa means sickness. Even Atzvaisa means depression. Some of Farshim say yes, because when a person is not well, that starts making the person worried and depressed. And bigger than the problem that he's not well is the Atzvus that comes as a result. Zog the Pasuk, Hashem heals you and it gives you a cure. Atzvaisa for the person who's sick, who happens also to be depressed as well. But as the way we're understanding it right now, the depression is really what the Pasuk is talking about. That's really all comes from the Eibishter. Chassidish tzaddikim often said, the Eibishter heals a broken heart. The best is This is not the best thing to have a broken heart. No, because a broken heart is supposed to be like simcha. If there's no simcha there, then Hashem says then you need a cure. A broken heart, a broken spirit, when it comes with simcha, that's a sign of bittul, of shiftless, of humility. In fact, if you look at the Sefer Tevis of the words, actually begamat is begamatri the word simcha. And why is that? Because that's the cure. The cure is simcha. Simcha and bitachon, which go always together. When the pasuk in Yeshaya was talking about Mashiach coming, Yeshaya Novi says, Hashem sent Mashiach, sent Yeshaya Novi to tell us about the Besudas Hagula. Ruach Hashem, I got a spirit from Hashem which told me, Shlochani levaser anovim, to give the good news to the humble people. Lachvoish leshvurei leiv, to bandage up all the people that have broken heart. It could be in Golos for so many years. Hashem promised us He's going to take us out, but a yush could fall upon a person after so many years in Golos. But the promise of Hashem is keeping us going. And we take away this broken, the shvurei leiv of Golos, because we know we have a bitachon, and Emuna, the Eibishter is going to take us out. Part of this idea that a person knows that he's always in the hands of Eibishter is the mitzvah of tefillah. In Sefer HaChinuch it says that Chasam Chas v'Shalom Lo Kora al Hashem Lo Yishiyai. If someone is in a tzara and he does not turn to Hashem to help him, Bittul mitzvahs asay zeh. There's a mitzvah asay to daven to Hashem la'avdu b'chol levavcha v'oisis avodu, to daven to Hashem. If your person is in a tzara, or a tzara for Klal Yisrael, for individual, he's supposed to daven. V'onshay godlam yoydi has a great punishment. Shul k'meiser hashgachas Hashem me'olav, because he's almost as if he's removing the hashgach of Hashem. He has a tzara, so we find this doctor, this alternative healing, this type of healing, that type of healing, this cure, that cure, this makubal, a bunch of things we're going to be doing right now. 1 second. The first thing is, today people need to have a sense of comfort. Everything. Need to have what I want, when I want, where I want, how I want. And there's something, because geht nicht Punkt, so wie ich will, let me find another solution for this. The solution, the first and foremost solution, everything became a sickness, because every discomfort is a sickness. Pregnancy and childbirth is a sickness. Everything, moods are a sickness. It's an illness. It's another form of illness. No, it's all the Eibishter telling us, turn to me. And if a person turns to Hashem, The person doesn't turn to Hashem, so the chinuch, Meisra Hashgacha is Hashem Yolov. He's saying it's not in the hands of Hashem. Im teilchu imi bekeri, v'alachti afniyam b'chem bekeri. If you look at everything as if it's keri, it's a chance. It's by chance. Mika nickers. That's how the world runs. Some people, this happens to people. Then Hashem says, I will act to you that way also. Then you don't see my Hashgacha. You don't see it's connected to me. But if a person goes and says, no, it's all because of the Eivishter. What do we say in this week's parsha? That the reason why the Avos were barren, the Imois were barren, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu misabel tfilasan shel tzadikim. The tzara is li Yeshua. Oitcha Hashem ki ani sani v'ati li Yeshua. I thank you, Hashem, because you paid me, because you are my salvation. Pasha troubling me. Why are you thanking that he paid you? Thank that he was your salvation. No, I understand. That was my opening to understand that everything is in the hands of Hashem. Often when a person all of a sudden comes into a state of tzara, the mantzcha, so the Eivishter. So the Eivishter puts in this system in place to allow us to appreciate his presence over there. Avram and Sarah is Canaan boim bayomim. Avram and Sarah were old. They were not shaykh to have kids, but derech hateva. So to pass by Avram vehem and Hashem, that he believed in Hashem. Yeah, it takes time. The Eibishter told Avram Avinu that he's going to give him Eretz Yisrael. Hundreds of years, and he kept repeating his haftacha. Moshe Rabbeinu complained to Hashem. What happened? He said, you're going to take him out of Mitzrayim. It took hundreds and thousands of years till they came to Eretz Yisrael. Soid ha'ikuv. There's a delay process. The Eibishter is as the famous German Jew once said when he heard the Rav saying that if you keep Shabbos, you have Atzlacha in business. So 30 years later, he's told the Rav, he realized now the Eibishter, he's not a Yekka. The Eibishter is an ordentlicher shir, aber nicht kein pinklicher. He's honest, but he's not on time. So when the Eibishter sometimes puts in the system that is a delay process, because he wants to strengthen our Bitachon. And the more we strengthen our Bitachon, the more things happen right away. So we should be zeichet with our Bitachon to the Gula Shlema take from Yad Mamish.